wondered what happens when the power to perfectly fake reality gets into everyone's hands? Well, guess what? We're living in that world right now. Generative AI has kicked off this brand new, incredibly powerful wave of scams, creating imposters so real they're shaking our very idea of trust. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how they work.
You see, the game has completely changed. Advanced AI has just demolished the cost and the skill needed to create these hyper-realistic fake voices, videos, and images. I mean, scammers don't need some Hollywood special effects budget anymore. With tools that are pretty much out there for anyone to find, they can clone a person's voice or their face and make them say or do anything.
And this brings us to the big, really unsettling question of our time. Think about it. For all of human history, hearing a loved one's voice, seeing their face, that was proof. It was real. But what happens when that's just not true anymore? When the very sounds and images we've always relied on can be perfectly faked?
That question leads us right here, to the rise of a whole new kind of threat, synthetic scams. And the scariest part? The barrier to entry for criminals is practically non-existent. We're not talking about needing hours of audio or some sophisticated setup. No, we're talking about just a few seconds.
That's it. 3 seconds. You heard me right. All a scammer needs is about a 3-second clip of your voice. They can just scrape it from a social media post, a video you uploaded, maybe even a voicemail. That's enough for today's AI to create a totally convincing clone of your voice. A voice that can be turned into a weapon. So where are these weapons being aimed first? Right at the family. And these aren't just about stealing money. These are deeply personal attacks that are designed to exploit our most powerful emotions, our love and our fear. This quote from a grandmother who was targeted just says it all. It perfectly captures how terrifyingly real these scams are. The AI voice isn't just similar, it's identical. And hearing it just short-circuits all of our rational defenses. Your brain just screams, that is my grandson, that is my daughter. How could it not be? And the playbook these guys use is just chillingly simple. Step 1, they find and scrape a voice clip. Step 2, they clone it using an AI tool. Then, step 3, they call a family member with a made-up crisis, a terrible car accident, a kidnapping. And the final step, this is the most important one, they create intense, panicked urgency to force you to send money right now, before you have a single second to think or to check if it's real. And, this isn't just some theory. This is the real, harrowing story of Jennifer DiStefano, a mom in Arizona. She gets a call, and on the other end, she hears her 15-year-old daughter's voice, sobbing, "Mom, these bad men have me. Help me." Then a man gets on and demands a ransom. The whole thing was a complete fabrication, a terrifying performance put on by AI. But it's not just about faking emergencies. This same tech is being used to supercharge romance scams. Scammers are now using deepfake video calls. They can show up on screen looking like someone else, talking to you, reacting in real time, building this deep, false sense of intimacy over weeks, sometimes months, all before they, inevitably ask for money. And the scale here is just mind-boggling. The FBI says that romance scams already cost victims over $650 million a year. Now get this, that's before deepfake video calls became common. AI is set to make these scams so much more convincing, and you can bet that number is going to go way, way higher. Now, if you're sitting there thinking this is all about personal scams, you might want to buckle up. The very same tactics are being scaled up to go after entire companies, and the result is multi-million-dollar fraud. This is where the financial stakes get absolutely astronomical. Okay, so check this out. There's this landmark case with a huge global firm called Arup that shows just how sophisticated these attacks are getting. So first, the scammers gathered public videos of the company's top executives. Then, an employee in the finance department gets an invite to a video conference. And on that call, deepfakes of the company's chief financial officer and a bunch of other senior leaders, all talking about some urgent, top-secret transaction. The employee, believing the whole thing was legit, transferred $25 million. Just gone. This wasn't just a fake voice on the phone. This was a fully staged, multi-person deepfake meeting, a digital heist. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. By the time anyone figured out what had happened, the money had vanished. Every single person on that video call, except for the poor employee who was being scammed, was an AI-generated fake, an imposter. And listen, the Arup case is not some weird, isolated incident. We've seen Ferrari CEO impersonated in a voice clone attack. The CEO of the huge ad agency WPP was targeted in a deepfake Microsoft Teams call, and scammers are constantly creating deepfakes of famous people like Tim Cook and Elon Musk to trick people into crypto scams. The threat is everywhere, and it is growing fast. So clearly, the technology is incredibly powerful. But the real question, the one we have to ask, is why? Why are these scams so unbelievably effective? It's not just about the tech itself, it's about how that tech plugs directly into our own human psychology. And the answer really is something called social engineering. This isn't about hacking a computer system, it's about hacking a person. It's the art of manipulating people by going after our most basic human emotions, our trust, our fear, our desire to follow authority, to get us to bypass all the security rules and do something we normally wouldn't. So let's just break down how this actually works. In those family emergency scams, the scammers are triggering pure fear and panic. They're trying to exploit your instinct to protect your loved ones to just short-circuit your rational brain. With CEO fraud, they're using our natural respect for authority and a fake sense of urgency. And with romance scams, well, they manipulate feelings of love and loneliness to build a deep but completely misplaced trust. Each scam is basically precision engineered to hit a specific emotional weak spot. At the end of the day, a deepfake doesn't need to break through a firewall. It doesn't need to find a bug in your software. It just walks right past all of that by exploiting the one thing that connects all of us: basic human trust. So where does all this leave us? The cost of this technology goes way beyond just the money people are losing. We are walking into a world where our perception of reality itself is under attack, and that creates a massive crisis of trust for everyone. And the growth of this threat it's exponential. A US Federal Reserve governor warned recently that deepfake attacks have shot up 20-fold in just the last 3 years. This isn't a slow burn, it's a full-blown explosion. And this leads to this really strange, dangerous paradox that experts call the liar's dividend. Here's how it works. Scammers win when we believe they're fakes, but they also win when we start believing that nothing is real. When any genuine video or audio can just be dismissed as a deepfake, it becomes way easier for bad people to deny the truth and spread lies. It just eats away at the idea of a shared reality. And that brings us right back to Jennifer DeStefano, that mother from Arizona. When she testified before the US Senate, she put it perfectly. She said this technology will rewrite our understanding of truth and erode our confidence in what is real. This isn't just a problem with scams anymore, it's becoming an existential one. Which leaves us with this one final, really heavy question. In a world where your own eyes and ears can be so easily tricked, where synthetic imposters can perfectly mimic the people and institutions we all depend on, what do we trust? And how do we even begin to build new ways to verify what's real?